feel like my camera is wicked high right now. Maybe it's just because my hair. The taller the hair, the closer to God. Is that what they used to say back in the day? Not a bad look, right? Not a bad look. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, here we are live. Live and mostly on time. What's a minute between friends, right? Come on. Come on. Good morning. Good morning, people. I see Kaylin in the Book Hive and Danielle and Laura and Peace on Earth and Glow with Kerry and Blonde Cheryl and some people joining and Jeanette. All sorts of good stuff. All sorts of good stuff. Happy Halloween. Yeah. I feel like I should put on some sort of wacky hat or something. I don't even know. You know what? Any wacky hat we have, we probably have decluttered it, and I think we have a fez in the basement. And no, that's not a euphemism. So happy Halloween to all of those who celebrate. Okay, happy October 31st for those of you who don't. Yeah, this is kind of fun. I have already been awake and up for a little bit. Today is my mother-in-law's birthday. Well, happy birthday to your mill. I love it. I love it. If I am not mistaken, today could be the birthday of Adam Schlesinger, who sadly, rest his soul, passed away, but he was the lead songwriter extraordinaire in the bands Fountains of Wayne and Ivy and others. He was one of my absolute favorites. And I believe today would have been his birthday had he not succumbed to the COVID. If I start talking about it anymore, I will cry. So I will pivot and say have a spooktacular Halloween. Yeah, so good morning, folks. Teacher here, it will be a crazy day. I can imagine with costumes and candy and sugar rushes and sugar crashes and, you know, the excitement. There's a different energy around holidays. Isn't it funny? If you didn't know it was a holiday yourself, you'd think it's just a day of the week. But man, are there clues that something is different, huh? Even today, I will share with you. So I just came back from having some coffee and a Danish with some friends at a local coffee shop. And we live in a really cool town anyway. If you didn't know it was Halloween, you'd be like, that's just Phoenixville. But literally between where I had my coffee, tea, and where I parked my car, I walked past a gentleman wearing a cow outfit walking a Dalmatian. And as I stopped to take pictures of these little skeletons that somebody had put in a tree that looked like they were kind of climbing down and going to get you, as I was taking a picture, as a guy says, "Oh, I'm glad you like the skeletons." And I turn around and he's got this kind of pirate hat on. Now, where I live, that could be just a regular Friday, but it is Halloween, so there are clues. So best of luck to all of you who are dealing with little kids so excited about costumes and trick-or-treating and that type of thing. My heart goes out to you, okay? So yeah, what better to do on Halloween than declutter? Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you, Danielle, even though I am Beth, the decluttering life coach, Destination Decluttered at your service here, I can think of a lot of better things to do, but you know what? Why not use this as an excuse? Now, here's a funny thing. I don't necessarily recommend that you declutter your cupboards and hand out cans of tuna fish to your kids. I remember once, decades ago, thinking, oh my gosh, we didn't get Halloween candy. What are we going to do? So we shut off the lights and we didn't do the trick-or-treaters. I remembered thinking, what am I going to do? Here's here's some frozen peas. You know, so being prepared helps. Good morning, Judy Dukes. Judy Dukes, I was thinking of you. Garbanzo beans. Yes, that's my deal. I don't know why I always use the can of garbanzo beans. I used it in a sentence today. I was talking to somebody about that kind of stone soup thing, because I'm going to be volunteering at our local food bank, more coming up. Yeah, I don't necessarily hate them, but man, do I not eat them unless provoked. Judy Dukes, I was thinking of you today, and I don't know, Judy, if you are going to get trick-or-treaters at your house tonight, but it might be fun for you to put on your Letterwoman's jacket as a costume when you're handing out the trick-or-treaters. Just a thought. Yay! So this is really fun. So last night, and of those of you who don't know me, my name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach, and my coaching here on TikTok, on YouTube, and on the internet is called Destination Decluttered. I'm going to be here for the next 54 minutes or so, helping you, if you're struggling with clutter, totally put it in the comments and I can help you. But we also have a really cool group that's like the Destination Decluttered email group. I can't think of a sassy name for it, so we just call it what it is. Let's keep it simple. Keywords, people, keywords. Last night we had a costume party on Zoom, and it was so fun to connect with people, to be able to hear other people's voices other than my own, right? And Kara was one of the people who showed up, and she brought some costumes, a Marimekko shift and a Halston, I think it was a jacket. And through talking about some things that she had saved for years but was never going to wear, she came to the idea of what she could do with them. And so I love this. Kara says, cleaned that vintage Halston and Marimekko today and sold a few things overnight. Awesome. Very cool. Yay. Judy says that would be fun. Yeah, to put on her Letterwoman's sweater. All right, that was something that she brought, which was a high school kind of letter jacket, showing off her accomplishments. Nothing wrong with that, but X many years later, and don't worry, I won't tell how many X years later, am I wearing it? Does it have the same oomph that it did, the same meaning? But I feel awkward kind of letting go of something that's ostensibly so personal. And what I say is, yeah, this is why I don't like things that are necessarily personalized, because then you're really stuck with it in a way, but you can let go of it. Okay, Danielle says, I live in condos and they banned trick-or-treating in here. It's a bunch of elderly people. Sadly, I get why they did that. The good news is we are flexible creatures and we can do other things. I think that's why one of the things that I literally had never heard about until just a few years ago, that concept of a trunk or treat, where you all collect up and you all agree that you're going to hand out candy in like a parking lot from your car, that's a thing because of the way we live now. So, yay. Hey, Gina, nice to see you. And Judy, notice, that would be fun. Yeah, and then maybe, you could show it off and then you figure out what to do with it later. Maybe it becomes the thing that you wear every Halloween and it becomes your Halloween costume. Who knows? We make this stuff up as we go along. Yeah. Okay. Okie Teacher says, I am sorry I missed the party. It's okay. Things happen. I have my dad's letter jacket. Yeah. So maybe you could wear yours if you're handing out that, if you could wear trick-or-treaters, Yeah. Trunk or treat is popular around here. Yeah. Notice how flexible humans can be. And I like flexibility. You know that. So what was I thinking? I guess this is one thing that I thought I would share as I'm waiting for people to put in if they're struggling with anything clutter-wise, so we can jump into kind of basically free coaching if you think about it. I don't mind. But I want to share this with you. I want to share with you the thought of check in with your life right now. Just check in. And Halloween of 2025. Think back, and I was thinking this 30 years back. So, Halloween 1995. Do you remember where you were? What you were doing? Halloween 1985. Maybe some of you weren't even born yet. It's so funny. I literally just had a picture kind of flash in my head of both of those Halloweens. And I think back to the person I was back then, who never in a quadrillion years, except for in her wildest dreams, could have imagined the life I'm leading now. Now, to some people, it may not look like much, but man, do I freaking love my life right now. Now, I will admit there are years that I didn't necessarily say that with any sort of conviction. But I will share with you, getting on the road, starting moving towards what you want, your life may end up better than you could have even imagined, because you can only imagine so many things. And I walked back this morning on Halloween of 2025 with such a smile on my face and in my heart. How lucky I am. I live in a town that I didn't even know existed in the 80s and 90s. Halloween of 2005, I lived here. 2015, I was still here. 2025, I still love being here. And so I offer to you, even if right now you check in with yourself on Halloween of 2025 and you're not where you want to be, that's okay. You can change it. And if you do the little things, those little stepping stones, as the monkeys would say, will get you to the life that you love more than this one. Love this one, though. Love your past selves. Love your present self. And do things so that you're loving your future self as well. Okay? So that is a little bit of my kind of lifey coachy stuff. And I say that kind of, with a bit of, a wink and a grin, lifey coachy, because I get sincere, but I'm also like, okay, dudes, I'm also from New England, where I tend to be like, okay, let's get something done, right? So that's why I show up as a coach and a declutter coach, because think about the way that your home is cluttered may affect how you feel about your life. So changing the clutter in your home will change your life. Pretty cool, huh? Laura Gibbon Voorhees, are you doing okay today, hon? Laura Gibbon Voorhees says, yesterday was my biological father's birthday, who died last October. Those anniversaries can be tough on your heart, okay? So my heart's with yours. How's that? Okay? I do know, and I don't know enough about it to speak about it with authority, but I want you to think about the fact that maybe, I think of this at all times, the veil between who we are in the physical world and in the spirit world is extra thin around this time in many cultures. And I just want to offer to you, I bet your biological father right now is sending you love and peace and caring so that you make it through today and tomorrow, okay? Now, Oki Teacher's going through things with her mom. Her mom, just a few months ago, transferring into an assisted living. These changes can be tough. And you'll be able to get through it. It may not be easy. There are some, road trip metaphor approaching, there are some roads that are more rumbly than others. But get through it. Have an extra piece of Halloween candy. Do something extra fun for yourself today. Treat yourself kindly. Treat yourself, okay? Get a sweet treat. Am I not just a running string of pop culture references? I am, and I'm cool with it. So hugs to you, my dear. Hugs. All right. Melissa, good morning and happy Halloween to you too. So here's a fun thing. Since it's Halloween, one of the things we did last night on the when we had a Zoom from the people in the email group, and kind of infomercial on the side. If you want to be part of the email group, head to my website, destinationdecluttered.com. Scroll down to the bottom, pop your email address in and join, and you're in like Flynn. I don't even know who Flynn is, but you're in like them, okay? Okay. Ooh, this is interesting. Alrighty. So this is interesting. I am curious, Oki, and I did just block Alex, just so you guys know. Blocking for 500, Alex. Okay, what is I am a spammer for 500? Oki Teacher has an idea. Okay. I was overwhelmed. Notice the past tense. With all the family pictures. Notice the word all. It means a wicked lot, the way I speak. They are everywhere in Mom's house. Everywhere. Again, a lot of stuff in a lot of places can cause overwhelm. But then Oki Teacher got an idea. I love it when people get ideas, and I can't wait to hear it. Hey, Kelly D. Kelly D, I finally listed on eBay things I've had for 30 years, and I sold 2 of them immediately thanks to you. Well, I love participating in that process, truly. If somebody is stuck and I can do something to just give them a little push, a little encouragement to do the thing, I am happy to do so. So yay for us. But what I will say, Kelly D, is do not underestimate your participation in that project. You're the one who did what they would call the heavy lifting. You listed the things on eBay. You did the actions, but notice what a difference a day makes. 24 little hours. I don't even know if that's how it goes. But just a little encouragement might be enough to get your wheels moving. I almost said the ball rolling, and then my brain was like, no, make it a road trip metaphor. Sometimes you need just a little push to get your battery charging, and then your own momentum can take off, and you can do things you didn't think you could do for 30 years. Now, maybe you were cool with it for 30 years, and then you weren't. So, yay. And 30 years ago, just so everybody knows, and Danielle, she was 2 in 1985. Danielle, I'm old enough to be your mother. I'd rather be the cool auntie, though. That's my role in life, okay? There we go. Yeah, Laura Gibbon Voorhees is going to, Beth and the Declutter fam, going to lounge and pet my kitty. The purrs soothe. Much like we would soothe a kitty or soothe yourself. Do things to take care of yourself. Okay? No, I love this. Okie Teacher says instead of, and this is great, Okie Teacher, you know what you're doing? You know what you're doing is you are chunking it down. So as a review, one of the things I like to do, and I'll just throw these kind of like 3 steps in order. For those of you who are new, this may be new to you, but it can also be a reminder for folks that show up before. Checking in with how you feel physically. If you don't feel good physically, do something to make yourself feel better than you do right now. Whatever it is, do it. The other one is nervous system. Now, this is where Okie Teacher recognized she had the feeling of overwhelm. Overwhelm. I'm in over my head. The sword of Damocles is hanging over my head. It ain't no crime. Overwhelm was caused by all the pictures in all the places. That very kind of too big kind of concept. An antidote to that is to stop, recognize you're feeling overwhelmed, and as soon as you do that, bing, an idea. You're more receptive to ideas that may be stuck when you're in that kind of overwhelmed state. The overwhelm is taking over and your idea brain can't happen. But then bing, you got an idea. And what she said was, I'm going to get a box and put the pictures in them as I find them. So notice what she's doing. She's taking, maybe it is all of the photos temporarily, but instead of having them all over the place, she's putting them in one place. And even just by thinking of taking all the pictures from all over the place and putting them in one place, her brain is offering some of them can be thrown away now. So notice that quick shift, recognizing you're overwhelmed, putting up, as I like to say, your little traffic cop hand, stopping, recognizing, whoa, feeling overwhelmed, don't want to feel this way, I can do something about it. Calming down your nervous system, even a couple of deep breaths. Shoulders down, breath down, quiet down, can allow your brain and body to shift gears from fear and shut down to curiosity, and boop, an idea pops in your head. Or even if the idea doesn't pop up in your head, getting your brain from being like a hard crumbled sponge that's all like whatever, to having your brain be a little bit more open. And it can be receptive to external ideas, because sometimes we can't imagine what we don't have in our head, but this is why we get inspired by other people, encouraged. So getting yourself out of overwhelm, and you can do this, gets you more open to not just what comes directly channeled through your spirit and the spirits of people you know, but to other outside influences that you may never have thought of, or even if you hadn't, you may not have been receptive to. What a great idea, Okie Teacher. Rock on, okay? Now, I love it. Kelly D, who just had stuff for 30 years, since 1995. I will put that out there for those of us who think that that was only 20 years ago. I had things for 30 years, and being receptive to the idea of just try it, see what it's like, try selling it on eBay, and then doing the thing. Now Kelly D has firsthand experience of how easy it is, because she says, now I know how easy it is, and I will continue, and I will get decluttered. You are already more decluttered than you were the last time you probably posted on in the comments here. So yay. Alrighty. Yes, decluttering is not as hard as your brain is telling you it is. It is wrong. It is looking at the wrong way of doing things. And I have a better way of doing things. I won't say it's the right way. It is a better way of doing things. Okay? Yay. I really appreciate you. I'm glad I found you on TikTok. I'm glad you found me on TikTok too, because honestly, the only reason I show up on TikTok is so people can find me and know that there is help out there if you struggle with clutter. I don't come on here to make money from TikTok. I literally barely make half a penny with my lives. I don't care. I'm not here for the money. I'm here for the connection. And TikTok is one of the ways that makes it easy to connect with people. So there we go. I love it. Melissa says, I'll be going to a doctor's appointment. Check taking care of your physical self. Then home to list on eBay. Love it. And then list on eBay, and then making a list of to-dos. This is another thing that's going to help you feel better about whatever's going on, is what I call the writing down portion of the show. I do this a lot with clients when I work with my one-on-one clients, is sometimes they show up and you can just see that there's kind of like the thoughts are spinning. That's not such a bad thing. Thoughts can be good. Not all thoughts are good, but many of them could be, but you don't know that until you write them down. And then when you write them down and get them out of your head, then you can decide which ones you want to keep and not. So writing down also helps calm down the nervous system. So try it. Use it in a sentence today. Good morning, Marietta. Nice to see you. Happy Halloween. So, again, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. The only reason I show up here on TikTok is to connect with the people who know me, but even more so, frankly, I love the connection of the existing people, but is also to get the word out to people who may be struggling with clutter, that there is a different way to approach it than maybe they've done that before. So I will ask this of you, and especially the people who already know about me. Is there a way that you can amplify this message? I don't know if you can share it or like it. You don't have to send me any gifts. The gifts don't really matter to me. The gift would be getting the word out to more people, okay? Because I do TikTok lives pretty much every day. I do them Monday through Friday, but at different times of the day, on different days of the week. There's a schedule for those. There isn't a schedule right now. I am totally being transparent about that, because I will tell you that I have been, as I like to say, wicked busy this week. Okay? Yay. Have a great day, Kelly D. I love it. Thank you for stopping in. I've been wicked busy this week. Wicked busy. But because I schedule my time, I'm turning the page on one of the craziest, busiest days of my week. And I see that I have a nice, luxurious gap of time between the end of the YouTube live, because I'm doing a YouTube live after this one, and when trick-or-treaters may show up. And I am so excited and looking forward to scheduling more TikTok lives and YouTube lives, scheduling declutter parties for November. Also tallying up how much money we have raised for doing the declutter parties in October, and after the change of the month, sending that money to a local food bank to help people who are going to be struggling because of obvious greed in a certain sector of the economy. But we are helpers here. We're not herders. We are helpers. Okay? So I am looking forward to doing that. So if you are curious and you've signed up for the Destination Decluttered email mailing list, and you're looking at the secret page that you got a link to, because I'm looking at it right now. Oh, that's the wrong thing. I almost looked up how much money, but where are we? Nope, wrong number. Oh boy, my poor typist. I don't care. I don't care. Yeah. So I can remove the costume party link because we did that last night. I will remove yesterday's TikTok live. And yeah, as of 11 p.m. today, you may look at the secret page and not see anything scheduled. Do not fear. Do not fear. You can rely on me. I am a trusted source. I am reliable. Even if you don't see the schedule there, there's no need to fear. Underdog is here. And I am making a schedule for next week, maybe the week after. I don't like to get too ahead of myself. But I love this. Notice what I said about knowing that there are days that are going to be busy and honoring that and not expecting too much of myself, not trying to cram in everything because I schedule my day. And I knew yesterday when it was busy that when I turned the page, as Bob Seger would say, I'm like, I don't need to worry about getting it done today because I have a big chunk of time today that I can do that stuff and I look forward to it. So one way of getting stuff done, but also calming down your nervous system, is to write down the things you want to get done and the things you know you want to get done, putting them on a schedule. Now, if you don't have a good way of doing that, again, that's what I show up and offer. And this is really neat, Okie Teacher says, thanks to Beth, unsolicited testimonial, thanks to Beth and learning how to schedule, I have time to learn how to crochet. I have wanted to learn to crochet for the past 3 years. And what I offer to do to you with that is, if you don't watch it, if you do not pay attention to where you spend your time and energy, you may be spending it in a way you don't want to, and then you won't have time or energy for the things you want to do. And oh my God, if I am not getting, we are now, what is it? I'm trying to reach the spirit of John Cunningham. I feel Jim Croce channeled. There never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. Anybody? You can't save time in a bottle, but what you can say is right now, again, little whistle, little traffic cop hand. Maybe I look like a Keystone Cop, with one of those like domey hats on. And I want to offer to you, stop and notice where you are currently spending your time and energy. And if you don't like that you don't have enough time for the things you want to do because you found them, you can change it and I can help. Okay? Now I love it. Laura Gibbon Voorhees is feeling good to get out of bed now. Rock on, lady. Getting out of bed, it's a good thing. Now, Pam Stone says, about my completely cluttered office. Yes, I need a rule of thumb for a quick decision to throw it away. Okay, I'll give you a through, maybe not even a thumb. Maybe I'll give some fingers. Okay, so here's what I would say, Pam Stone. I would first do this. Completely cluttered office. Before I do that, I would organize it into categories. Now, typically when somebody is cluttered in an office, usually the clutter culprit is paper. Now, paper is just, water and whatever paper's made of, and it's inert itself. The thing that gives paper meaning is the message that is printed on the paper. So depending upon the category, the category will be the thing that helps you determine what to do with it. So I would organize my papers, and this is how I would do it. I would start with 2 big piles, okay? If I have a big pile of mess, I would immediately, let's say mail I haven't opened. I would open the mail, and I would immediately be able to put in the recycle bin the envelope and any of the marketing materials or extra pages that they send me that don't matter. I would then have what does matter on it, and I would take a very high-level look at that. Is this something that is, and this is future-based or past-based? Now that sounds extra fancy. What I mean is this something that tells me I have to do something, or is it paper confirmation that I have done something? So it might be both. It might be your credit card statement saying, yes, you paid last month, but yes, you need to pay this month. Okay, so I would organize my stuff in very simple, easy to understand for you, high-level categories. Do not immediately go to the details, okay? get your things organized in a couple of piles that make sense to you. And then you can always further refine those piles. If you jump to doing the, what do I want to say, kind of the specific action on things right away, that will slow down your ability to decide what to keep and what to throw away. Okay? So deciding what to throw away, what I would also ask myself is, when is the last time I ever had to refer to this type of document? So for example, and it's funny, I have one right here in my pile because one of the things I'm going to do today is also call a bunch of places or sign up to get paperless about stuff. I used to be in the habit of, when I got something from our health insurance that said, hey, you had this service, but you owe us no money because of insurance, I would file those things away. And then I thought, when was the last time I ever had to refer back to that paper? And the answer was like never. So I started immediately, instead of filing those things in my file, I would immediately just put it in the recycle bin. You know? All right. So the thing I will say is, you can always change that. Like Mama D says, it's too late, I jumped. You can unjump. You can get out of the deep details and back up and make some categories. It is going to be an easier, more efficient way to get to your destination decluttered office quicker and easier and simpler. Now, if you want to make it slower and more difficult and more painful, be my guest, be my guest. You can do that. I am here to show you the efficient, easier, simplified way of doing this, because I don't want to spend all my life going through paperwork, so I minimize the paperwork that comes into my house. As I mentioned, I have a pile right here. Now, has it accumulated over the past week? Yes, it has, because I've been busy. But what am I doing today to set myself up for a better future, aka less paperwork coming through the mailbox that's attached to my house? Is I'm going to spend and invest some time today, and it's a true investment because it will pay off bigger in the future. I'm going to call up and email or however to get myself off of certain mailing lists and go paperless for things that I don't need the paper proof of anyway. Yes, and so Pam Stone, this is great. If you're a detail-minded person, that is awesome. But what I will say is, go from the big to the small, big piles to little piles is going to be a much better way of detail minding yourself. Because here's a great thing, Pam. So notice that one of the things that I said was 2 piles, stuff I have to do and kind of statements of what I have done. So when you do that, you can use your detail-minded brain on one of those piles. So let's go to this pile. This is evidence of what I have done. This is a thing that says it's a receipt that I paid for something. Okay? So I share with you, when was the last time you had to prove to somebody else besides yourself that you paid that bill? I've got the pay. Now, here's the thing that jams up many of us, and it was really funny. Last night when we did the email group costume party, some of us revealed like the year that we graduated high school. So many of us, not all of us, trust me, and everybody's welcome here except for haters, grew up in the pre-digital era. So a lot of our formative habits with paperwork are like from the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond. It isn't that time anymore, and something has changed, where even if you do need to prove to somebody that you paid that bill, there may be a way of looking that up online and confirming that without having the actual paper. So notice where your habits are rooted in the 20th century, but we are now 1/4 of the way through the 21st century. So noticing where your habits came from, noticing, again, the traffic cop hand. Wait a minute, that's right. I am acting as if I'm in like an office from like the 1960s here, but we are in the Jetsons right now. Instead of being in the Flintstone era, we are in the Jetsons era. And a lot of the stuff that we needed to have physical proof of back in the day, now we have a way of proving that if we even need to. I still do. I'm looking for my I think it's in the other room. I still do get some paper in. I'm not going to lie. I have my level of comfort. I enjoy getting my credit card statements in the mail because that is a prompt that reminds me to review those things and schedule the payment. So think of this as updating your operating system from the 20th century version, the 1900s version, into the 21st century, the Jetsons version. Meet George Jetson, boo, 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 Jane, his wife, ding, 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 ding. Right? We are more Jetsonian than we think. And sometimes, notice that, it's because we're still thinking like the Flintstones. Isn't it funny? Just this is how my brain works. Okay? Yeah, so Paula to the Jean says, good morning. Such a great point. I keep medical paperwork that I'm sure is stored somewhere. Yeah, and I do that to a certain extent too. Sometimes saving something gives you, this is what it does. We are all craving safety and peace of mind. I feel like I get peace of mind when I can see on paper that this is how much I owed my credit card and this is how much I paid. And paper is unchangeable with certain things. Now, one of the things that I realize I don't like about looking at my credit card statements online, and I do occasionally check in with that stuff, but there's always a moving target. The target is always moving because your daily balance changes. And I like to, and my husband and I had big battles of the will because he was always like, oh shit, we owe a lot of money. We better pay it off in advance. And that would screw up the way in which we were doing it. I said, let's trust that they are going to tell us by this day, pay this much, and we will adhere to that schedule. We will not get in trouble for carrying a balance between things because we are lucky enough to be able to pay those things off every month. So I offer to you, all of us at a certain core human level are craving safety and peace of mind. So that's maybe why you are in the habit of saving some paper. I get that. So just ask yourself, look in your rearview mirror and say, when was the last time I actually looked at any of these papers? Okay? And I offer to you, if the answer is, God, I don't even remember when, that's important info. Okay? Yeah. So notice where you're being more Wilma Flintstone and be more Jane Jetson. Okay? Be flexible enough to update your systems and evolve. Now, I come from a combo. My mom, at a certain point, was an early adopter. She had one of the very first Mac computers back in the 80s. I didn't even see the reason for it. There was no internet. You had a computer at your house, and that was it. My dad, on the other hand, man, he might have been writing with a quill on papyrus. He was so proud of being what we would call a Luddite, a person who was proud to not update their operating system. Now, he was a white heterosexual man, so he had other people to do things for him. He did not need to change. But I will say this, what kind of person do you want to be? And even if you're not that yet, start doing the things to become it. Do you want to be rigid and stuck in the past? Or, again, I always love to say, do you want to have some flexibility? I like being a flexible person. Man, does it open up my world like nobody's business. I like having an open world. Now, I love that. Okie teacher, maybe that's why we get along so well. You know? You just described my parents, yeah. And I say this to you too, because hello, Barb, and Laura Goodman Voorhees has fed the cat, has made the bed. Now I have a sorting surface for the closet task. Yes, beds make wonderful sorting surfaces, and I offer that to you because it's also, if you want to go to bed, unless you want to sleep next to laundry, you have a motivation to clear the stuff off the bed. So yay, Laura Gibbon Voorhees. Okay. Notice how when I described my mom, I said that she used to be an early adopter of things. We all have in our own lives opportunities to say, do I want to learn this new technology or do I want to stop where I am? Okay? And notice that about yourself. I mean, the cool thing about all of us right now, we are all on TikTok. I have none of my friends in many of my friend groups are on the TikTok. I don't want to learn that. That's for the kids, whatever. They're missing the awesomeness of our connectivity right here because they decided to stop and not learn something new. Now, that's up to them. I'm not going to convince them. But notice where you may have stopped, and maybe you've stopped decluttering because you or learning how to do things because you've just given up. I'm here to remind you that no matter how old you are, an old dog can learn new tricks. And it keeps you young and flexible, and it improves your life to learn a different and better way to do things that currently you're struggling with. Who the frick doesn't want to not have struggle in their lives? Me, I do not want struggle. I want to learn how to do something different so there is less struggle. I haven't always been this way, though, because I grew up with people who were like, well, that's just how it is. Nah, it isn't, though. You can change it on a dime, okay? And here's the thing. It came up last night. Marietta, I don't know if you're still here, but I remembered you saying, yeah, it's hard to change on a dime, so we don't change it on a dime. In hindsight, you'll think how quickly you changed, but as you're going through it, slow, steady, changing, small, incrementally, is really the way it transforms. I look back to my 1995 self, and this was one of the darkest times in my life. I had moved back home with my parents because my husband of that time and I were separated. I had a job I didn't like. I didn't know what I wanted to do. My marriage was falling apart. I was living with my parents at that age after being married. It was dark times for me. It felt like my future was empty and black. And those next couple of years were tough on me. Oh my God, it was only 2 or 3 years. It was tough though. Had I not changed, I would not be where I am today. I look back and I have had so many more years of joy than that small window of crap. And you know why it was different? Because I changed some things that I did. Not all at once, not big and whatever, quiet and baby steps and comfort zone and out of comfort zone and stretching and growing and expanding incrementally and organically. And then doing it that way has helped me create a home that is less cluttered and a life that I freaking love. Okay? So I just offer to you and to everybody, I don't want you to have to struggle with what I've struggled through. I want you to learn from my mistakes and learn what worked for me so that you have a jump start, okay? That's why I show up on TikTok, on YouTube, do the one-on-one coaching, have the email group, because it is foolish for me to have learned something and then just keep it to myself. I want to share it, all right? All righty, here we go. I love it. Pam the dog lady says, my mom loved the talking Computron that she bought for my daughter. Fun. Kim Jenner, nice to see you. Grading day, which means I can do my report cards from home today. Yay, nice to catch you as well. I love it. Now notice this, Melissa, because I'm just catching up on some of the comments here. Cleaned and reorganized my closet yesterday. Awesome. Trying to make it make sense so it's easier to get ready. Notice, having a system that makes sense to you, and the goal is to make it easier for you to do something. Okay? Yeah. I love it. Uh-huh. Now, Janet says, I'm Peruvian, now moving to the USA. I hope this is an okay place for you to move to. Okay? Yeah. See, here's a funny thing. Judy says the first graders were telling me how to use the BenQ board. I have no idea what that is. I mean, I am up to date with a certain amount of things, but still I am out of the loop when it comes to what the kiddos, what are the kids saying nowadays? You know, there are some things I don't mind keeping up with, and the other things, I'm okay to let it go. I'm okay to let the kids have their fun with whatever the kids are listening to these days. I'm fine with mine, my rock and roll. Bobby Dugas, nice to see you. Yeah. So here's a fun thing. Think about Halloween and think about how we dress up in costumes. What would be the costume? Who would you dress up as your favorite version of yourself in the future? What does future you, what would be some of the accessories of future you if you were to dress up tonight, even if you're just doing it yourself? What are some of the costume things that would be like, oh, what are you? Oh, I'm future me. Okay? Future me. So let me think of that for a minute myself. Well, future me would have a small suitcase next to me, a small, lightweight suitcase that never had to be checked on an airline because I want to be future me. Future me continues a lot of the things that I love about my life right now. Future me would have a small, lightweight suitcase. She'd be wearing clothes that look good, feel good, comfortable. What else would I have that would indicate the future me that I'd want? I would have the electronic version of my passport, and it would have a lot of passport stamps on it. It would also have, what else would future me have? Can you tell I'm in for my travel era right now? Future me would have the highest level of like airline and hotel status at the hotels and airlines that I like to travel with. And the moment I decided I wanted to travel on one of those, bing, it would happen. So I would have some sort of thing to display that I'm like, you know, Hilton Gold or Marriott, you know, titanium, platinum, gold, and beyond. Okay? So notice this. Yeah, Kim Jenner says her version is an old lady with an armful of grandkids. How cool is that? You know? Yeah. Yep. Yep. And Anyi says, step by step, I'm growing, and it doesn't matter if I make mistakes. Patty Smythe once said, there are no mistakes in love. And I say, there are no mistakes at all. Look at everything as an opportunity to learn something. Did that work? Yes. Do it again. Did that not work? Okay. Why didn't it work? Get curious so you can do something different the next time. The sooner you don't look at things as either success or failure. Okay, so Mama D says, I would be 35 again. What did you like about 35-year-old self? What was it about that age in your life that you like that you wish you had now at whatever age you are? Now, please, I wouldn't mind, seriously, having the skin I had, having the muscle tone I had as she looks at her bingo wings that are happily hidden under long sleeves for the next many months. Yeah. So, yeah, growing little by little. Be myself after the separation marriage. Yes. So Janet, I offer to you. Yes. Learning who you are. And I was talking about this with one of the people on the party last night. Learning how to be an independent person, especially when you are used to being attached to somebody else and being part of a pair. Salt and pepper. Having the ability to separate and know who you are. Now, I am temporarily, as I was joking with somebody last night, cosplaying the version of a single version of myself right now because my husband is a musician and he's on tour. So he is not around. I am in the habit of being part of a couple, and a good one at that, not an unhealthy couple like back in the day. But it has taken me a little bit of time to kind of recenter myself because I'm used to kind of like this wonderful kind of relationship where we rely on each other. If he's not there, I can't ask him to go to the grocery store or make that phone call or do those things because he's not around. So I've had to kind of recenter myself and then say, okay, what kind of person do I want to be if I'm single? And I am a person that is connecting with her friends, getting shit done easily that I would normally kind of pawn off on my husband. And I really don't mind it. I enjoy it. Of course, I also love the can't wait till my husband's getting back. But I am practicing being, and I remembered thinking, this is going to sound, well, it's going to, like, if my husband precedes me in death, if he dies before me, I know I'll be okay as an independent person because I've practiced it, and it will throw me for a loop for a while, but then I can right myself, and I know that there are things that I can do and that I have support and encouragement. Yeah. Okay. So Mama D says, I was free when I was 35, when I was 17. Mama D says, I was free-spirited and physically fit and had a zest for life. So Mama D, what if I were you, I'd be taking out my notebook and writing down free-spirited. Then I would put down physically fit and zest for life. And I would say, okay, how can you get more of that in your current life? Even just incrementally. What does free-spirited mean to you? Why can't you be free-spirited now? Alrighty? Yeah. Now, Okie Teacher is getting this. My kids have grown, and I retired. I have started to be an individual again. Yes, I am no longer a mom in a way that I was before. I am no longer an employee in the way that I was before. Who am I right now? And what I want to offer to you is, if you don't know that, that's okay, because you can invent who you want to be. What's the costume? You know? Yeah, Mama D, I've been a widow for 7 years, trying to figure out who I am again without my husband. Well, you've had 7 years of practice, Mama D. So I would sit down if I were you, and I would fold a paper in half. What are some things that I have done since my husband passed that I like doing? I would put those in the right-hand column. What are the things that I've done over the last 7 years that I'm not so psyched about my life? I would write those down in the left-hand column. And I would have that as a beginning rudimentary roadmap of what to do more of and what to do less of. Okay? Yeah. No, I love it. Damn it, Donna says, and yay, Levitt, I needed to see this today. This is why I show up on TikTok. I do TikTok lives, YouTube lives. As a heads up, there's a YouTube live on the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel that's going to start in about 6 or 7 minutes. We're going to do the same thing here, just changing the channel. Okay? Yeah. So I love it. I re-engaged with the things I loved to do when I was 7, says Damn it, Donna. Yeah. What are the things you liked to do when you were 7 years old? Let me think of what year that would have been for me. Okay. You know what? There are some things that I liked to do at that age that I still enjoy doing. Listening to good music, watching goofy stuff on TV, hanging out with friends. Yeah. Do more of that. I love this. Judy's costume is a big soft hoodie and sweatpants holding a sign that says all is well because Trump is out of here. Yes, future me wants that too. All of it. Okay? So, yeah. Damn it, Donna. God. I'm telling you, Donna. I'm telling you. I feel like Edie, little Edie. And probably one of my great aunts from Massachusetts. Damn it, Donna. God. This is, instead of damn it, Donna, I will say that my sisters and I tend to say, God, Johnny. Because that would be my mother's exasperated voice, kind of frustrated with my dad in her own unique Boston accent. So we use that and we crack up. Yeah. Damn it, Donna. Yeah, it's kind of like Judy Dukes. Yes. Right. I lost my funny bone and then I found it again. Yeah. If you want to be funny, if you want to be happy for the rest of your life. No, that's a bad song. Just because somebody wrote a song about something doesn't mean it's true. Just because something rhymes also doesn't mean it's true. You know, what is it? Out of sight, out of mind. Nah. Sometimes that happens, but other times things can be out of sight and you still know where they are. Object permanence, people. Okay? So, I'm going to take a minute right now as things are coming into into the chat here. I'm just going to go over to the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel, and I am going to set us up for the live that's going to start at 10 o'clock Eastern, which is in about 5 minutes. Yeah, now here's a one that I do like. A rhyme that I do like is attitude of gratitude, says Damn It Donna. And the reason I like it is because, look, it changed everything for me. And instead of having crying and sad faces, there's a smile and a heart. So that's the good kind of change we want. We want more hearts and smiles versus crying emojis, okay? So what day is today? Today is 10/31/2025. 10 a.m. Eastern time. I'm always Eastern time, people. 10 a.m. YouTube live! Exclamation point. It is going to be, when it's over, it's going to be on the October 25, 2025 playlist. It is not made for kids. I mean, kids are welcome, but this is more for adults. And it's going to start at 10 a.m. Eastern, so in about 4 minutes. All right. So I'm gonna get that started. So we have pretty much a seamless way of doing that. But I offer to you, let's say, make sure that's in the right thing. Today's Halloween. Tomorrow's All Saints Day. Dress today. Do something, even one item in your world today that indicates the future you that you want to be. You don't need to tell anybody else you're even doing it. But do something today to plant a seed and set an intention to grow into what used to be a costume, and now it's just part of your life. Think about what you don't want to wear in the future anymore. Maybe it's a bra, an uncomfortable bra, throw it away, put on a more comfortable one, okay? But think about what the costume of your future you that you're excited to be someday, even if you don't think you can get there, okay? Do something today to signify to yourself, who do you want to be? I think back on Halloween of 30 years ago, and I will share this. I was, as I said, had to move back home with my parents because my husband and I were going through a tough time. But I got invited to a party by people who I thought were super cool. They lived in this cool house. They were interesting, smart, creative, funny people. And I knew there was part of me that was scared because I didn't really know them, but I was drawn like nobody's business to hanging out with people like that. So I found a friend of mine and I said, I need a Hansel and Gretel right here because I'm too afraid to do this on my own, but with somebody else near me, I'm more encouraged. And I asked this friend to go to this party with me, and I went to that party and I said, man, this is the kind of life I want, not the one that I was leaving. And I think back now on that, and I have since been friends with those people, gone to their house, met them for pizza at the Linwood. And I share this with you because the things that may seem like a dream now, it's okay to dream them. And then incrementally, as it feels good, you can do the things to then make that dream come true. Doing it our way, give us any chance, we'll take it. Read us any rule, we'll break it. Woo! You know that one, right? Why don't you leave it singing? I'm gonna make my dream come true. Doing it my way. All right? So, happy Halloween, everybody on TikTok. We're going over to the YouTube channel right now. Actually, I'm going to make sure I go live. I'm going to say, retake the thumbnail. What should I do? Here, this is a hat. There we go. There's my thumbnail. I'm going to start the YouTube live. Feel free to come on over. We've got another hour of exactly what we're doing right now. Feel free to putter and declutter as we're here live. All right? I'm afraid I'm going to drop my phone right now. There we go. Love all the songs as you talk. I do the same. Isn't it fun? So much better to sing than talk, okay? See you guys later. Happy Halloween. And I'll see some of you on YouTube. And I'll see many of you in November, all right? See you in November.